Excuse my throat.
It's all good.
It's tickly.
Okay, so worksheet 2-3. Here we go. We're going to do together 11, 12, 16, and 19. So 11 is using the word interval again. So go underline the word interval and remind yourself that that means the x's. So what they want to know is on this graph, F, on the interval -8 to -2, is it increasing? So I'm going to go to where x is -8. I'm going to make a point. I'm going to go to where x is -2 and make a point. So I'm looking between these two x's. Is the graph increasing between those two x's?
Yes.
The answer is yes. That was easy. Number 12. This time they want to know about the interval between -8 and -4. So same thing. I go find -8 on the x, and I go find -4. They didn't mark that point. I have to go mark it myself. So I'm looking between these 2 points. Is it decreasing? So we write no. Good?
Yeah.
All right. Number 16. They want me to list the interval on which f is decreasing. Well, it's decreasing in a bunch of places. They want me to list them all. So I'm going to go mark them with my yellow marker. So we got this one here, 2, and 3. So we have 3 places where it's going down. Now, when you do the intervals, remember we're using the x's. So every time you write this, you're writing both the x's. So what's my x up here if it goes on forever? What kind of infinity? So negative infinity, interval notation, to, where does it end at? -8. Okay, that's one interval. Okay. Remember, we're not using brackets, we're using parentheses because these are turning points. Here's my next interval. Remember, I'm looking at the x's. So the x at top is negative what? And the x at bottom is 0. So there's the second interval. Not an ordered pair. These are the 2 x's that I'm between. Your last interval is going from 2 all the way to what? 5. Good? Okay. Number 19 says, list the numbers at which f has a local maximum and what the local maxima, and what are they? So that's when they want all the ordered pairs of all the high points on the graph. So I'll use my red marker. All right, so I want every high point on the graph. I got one here, and I got one here. I didn't choose these because they go on for what? Ever. So I have 2 of them, and I'm just going to go write down the ordered pair this time. So this time it's x comma y when I do these. So when x is -2, the maximum value is -2, the maximum value is 6. Okay, that's okay. When x is +2, the maximum value is 10. And that's how you do that section. Questions for me? Easy? Okay, let's go look down at the next section. On 21 through 28, I have to do 4 things for each graph. The first thing you have to do is the intercepts. Then you're going to do the domain and range. Then you're going to tell me all the intervals where it's increasing, decreasing, or constant. And lastly, you're going to tell me even, odd, or neither. So first period chose problem 27, so I'm doing that one with all my classes. There's a lot of information to write on here, so write small. Okay, part A wants all of the intercepts. So everywhere it touches an axis. So I'm going to go mark them with my pencil, my pen, all the places it touches, and it touches 3 times. It touches the y, they even labeled it for me, at 0, 1/2. It touches the x, it's between 0 and 1, so what would you call that? Yep, 1/2, 0. And the one between 2 and 3? 2.5, 0. Anything hard about that? Nope, not at all. Part B wants me to go write down the domain and range. So letter B, I'm going to do domain, and I'm going to do range. I do both. So domain is always from the left to the right. There are no arrows here, so I'm going to go make the dots a little darker so you can tell. Okay, that's important because it's a closed dot. I want a bracket. And I'm going from this x all the way over here to the one on the right. So what's this x over here on the left? negative 3, all the way to what? Positive 3. Done. When you do your range, you're going to do the lowest point to the highest point. So what's the lowest y value that I actually use? Negative 1. And because I'm using it, it's a bracket. All the way up to positive what? 2. And that part's done. Again, nothing's hard. So here comes the new piece that we just learned. It's the intervals. Okay? And they want me to do, I'm going to do part C right here. They want me to do the increasing interval, the decreasing interval, and the constant, all three of them. So I'm going to abbreviate I and C is for increasing. So how many segments or how many intervals am I increasing on this graph? 1. Just this one I highlighted in yellow. And you're just going to write down the x's. So what's this x down here at the bottom? Not the y, the x. 2. And what's this x over here to the right? 3. Okay, and because it's an interval, and because these are my turning points, I have to use parentheses. This does not mean it's an ordered pair. It's just saying 2 and 3 are not included because they're my turning points. Okay? Am I increasing anywhere else? No. Nope. So let's go do decreasing. Where am I decreasing at? Would y'all all agree this orange line? Yeah. Okay. What are the x values over here to the left? To what?
1.
And again, they're turning points, so I use parentheses, not brackets. And I'm going to go do my constant interval. How many constants do I have? 2. I have 2 types. I'm constant right here and down here, so twice. So the first time I'm constant, it's between negative 3 and it looks like negative 1. Again, turning point, so we're using parentheses. And at the bottom, we're between 1 and 2. The last thing you have to do for every single problem is decide if it's even, odd, or neither. Can you fold this on the y? And it be symmetric? No. Can you double flip it and it be symmetric? No. So what would you call this then? Neither. Okay, and now we've done all 4 parts. Easy? Beautiful. All right, turn it over. Almost done. So on 29 through 32, the first thing you have to answer for each problem is how many local maxima are there and what are they? And then you're going to do how many minimums are there and what are they? Again, not hard. So looking at number 30, they want to know how many maximums. So how many high points? How many you got? 3, because there's no arrows. Otherwise, I would agree with just 1. So I'm going to write there are 3 of them, and then I'm going to go list what all 3 of them are. So it looks like this is probably negative 3 over here. So negative 3, 3, 0, 2, and 3, 3. These are actual ordered pairs. These are not intervals. So these are x comma y's. Part B wants to know how many minimum there are and what they are. So how many minimums? 2. And then they want to know what those 2 ordered pairs are. So negative 1, 0, and 1, 0. Again, super, super easy. Last section. It says for 33 through 44, determine algebraically whether each function is even, odd, or neither. So let's write at the top so we don't forget. Even. It's even if f of negative x equals the original equation. So if you plug in negative x and you get the original one back, it's even. If you plug in negative x and it doesn't equal the original, but instead equals negative f of x, we're going to call it odd. Now if you look at the notes we just took, I've already done 33 with you. You just have to copy it back down. I've already done 34 and I've already done 36. These are in your notes. When first period looked at this, they thought number 43 was the hardest and they asked me to do that one. So we're going to do 43 together. Okay. Alright, so the first thing you have to do on all of these problems, every single one of them, is plug what in first? negative x. So that's your first step on all of them. So no one can go, I don't even know where to start. Yes, you do. For every single problem, plug in negative x. So I have a negative out front, so I have to bring it down. I have an x, so I put parentheses, and what goes in there? Yep, negative x. And then I have to raise it to the what power? Third. All over, I see a 3. Because I see an x, I put parentheses, and I put negative x in there. It's squared and minus 9. And now I just evaluate. A negative x to the third power is a what kind of number? Negative. And a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive. So the top is positive. On the bottom, a negative x squared is a positive. So I have 3x squared minus 9. When I plugged in negative x, did I get the original back? So that means it is not what? Okay, because it's not even, now I have to go check what? The other one. I got to go check negative h of x. And if this is equal to the one we just got, then it's odd. If it's not, it's neither. So we go write down our negative, open parentheses, and then just recopy the whole function back. It's a really easy thing to check. Now back in 3rd grade when y'all learned fractions, some of y'all had a really hard time with what I'm about to say, so pay attention. When I'm going to distribute this negative to this fraction, does it go to the top and the bottom or just the top? Just the top. You only distribute to top and bottom if it's an exponent. Okay? So I'm only going to multiply the top by the negative, not the bottom. So negative times a negative is going to give me a positive. I'm not going to multiply the bottom by anything because really this whole thing is over an imaginary 1. So the bottom I just repeat. Do these two equal each other? Yes. So it's not even, it's what? Odd. Okay, what questions do you have?